Hello and welcome to the Jonathan Acuna Show. Welcome. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, or you love personal growth, you're in the right place. In this show, we're going to be talking about a couple of the most popular topics, trending topics in business and technology that happened over the week. We're going to pull lessons from it and how it impacts your business and life and how you can leverage it to level up. So in the show, we're going to be talking about IBM halts 7,800 jobs and going to replacing them with AI. And then we're also going to be looking at Wall Street Journal. She cloned herself, a journalist, fooling her own family. We're going to look at the technology, the AI tech stack, because I'm interested in the tech stack. Like, what technology did she use? Where are we at? And how far and how close are we to having my own digital? I want my own personal assistant John, digital AI that makes all my executive choices and partner with me, that I don't have to be around making every single decision. So let's get started and take a look at our screen. And the way I like to do the show is we're going to start with a quote. And I found this quote today and I love it. Passion is energy. Feel the power that comes from focusing on what excites you. Oprah Winfrey. And what excites me is business, technology, more importantly, learning something new so that I could take with it and apply it tomorrow and level up my life in both business and personal. But let's take a look at the news. First one, IBM halts for 7,800 jobs that could be replaced by AI. IBM showing they're suspending hiring. They're cutting back and roles in human resources and non-customer facing jobs will be impacted. So what is going on? The trend I mostly see is that businesses are like, yo, we need to reduce costs. Beep is expensive. So not human labor, but I'm like, everything in general, the economy, everything's expensive. And so businesses are looking to reduce costs just to survive over the next year, because we're going to be going into a not allowed to say on YouTube. So what can you do and how is this going to apply for your business? One, unless your business is growing, definitely higher scale. But here, IBM is literally cutting a lot of work and then replacing it with so we're going to be seeing over the next couple months as ChatGPT and other AI tools come into the marketplace. I'm looking for I'm going to answer for like three different personas. You have employees and their impact. You have business owners and their impact. And then you have working professionals, on contractors, entrepreneurs, self-employed. So the people that are employees, man, if you are not the best at what you do at your job, you might be at risk, at just TLDR, regardless of AI and anything in general. So what this is going to do, all low-level job work, mundane secretary work, data entry, legal work, accounting, this is going to impact so many departments are already shifting to AI and implementing an AI process or AI tech stack or an AI workflow where they're either augmenting, you have an employee and they're using AI to enhance their productivity, or you've level 2, you've replaced that employee with an AI, or level 3, you've completely replaced that whole workflow and automated it through an automated workflow or automation. You basically systematized it to that point. So for employees, you have to be mandatory. If it's a hiring and there's two candidates and one knows how to use ChatGPT and AI tools and the other one doesn't, that I'm hiring the one that does, because it's akin to like learning how to Google, being resourceful and being able to pull resources or expertise out of like the thin air, out of the ether and the internet. Basically, it's like it's essential to your job regardless of what your job is. As far as like, that's what this rings to me. That's employees. Let's look at business owners and managers. Inflation, costs, everything's going up. So we need to reduce costs. We need to be as efficient as possible, your organization, as far as streamlining workflows. I always look at the top 3. I always look at people. Are they trained to their utmost training, the best skill that they can be, so that they're giving you the most productivity for that time. Then you're going to look at processes, your workflow, step 1, 2, and 3 of how you do anything. Look at your SOPs, standard operating procedures, and how are you changing that so that you're reducing steps, so that you're implementing newer technology, faster processes, so that you are keeping up with the trends. And what I like third, of course, is technology. If you're using old technology, it's literally costing you so much time and money. Like it's so much what's called technical debt, and that debt has to be paid in the future. So highly recommend right now. Look at your tech stack. What are you doing for sales, marketing, or your CRM, operations, customer service? What are you doing for communication? Making sure you're using the best of the tech tools that or tech apps that work with your basically upgrading your tech stacks. You're using the ones. Um, so that's what I see this as far as okay. So that's businesses and wanting to be more efficient, wanting to optimize and use AI. I get it. It's going to be becoming way more. So entry level jobs are going to get harder to get over the next, or might, it's not going to be like harder to get. They're eventually going to be phased out as AI gets better. That's the better way to describe the trend of what's going on here. Let's look at the third camp, entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, you should be using all the latest tech stack and augmenting your team and running as lean and efficient as possible. So you guys are very more lean and efficient than more bigger companies or or enterprise organizations. So you guys could act quickly, use the tools, test them, train. It's a lower cost to your company than IBM having to redo a lot of their internal organizations and their teams. So that is something there. Let's switch over to the next one. AI will make our society even more unequal. I'm trying not to do a lot of the doom like and gloom kind of stuff, but you need to be aware of this. It's not if you're watching the news and everything's great, economy's great, banking's great, you are watching the wrong news, and you need to be up to date with what's going on in the trend, because ignorance will, it's not even going to cost you. It's literally you won't be employable, like you won't be marketable. Like the economies are changing in so many different ways. So this one, how will AI make our economy even more unequal economies? Economist warn. So, oh my gosh, ChatGPT is going to be integrating everything. But what you really need to know is your job at risk? Are you the best at what you're doing? Can you get trained in AI? If you're a college student, it's like, look, you need to get into STEM, and then heavily mandatory, you need to get into coding, like because as far as like tech jobs, that's are high salary jobs that are going to be necessity, because this is going to open a whole new their economy. There's going to be plenty of jobs created from this, but the problem is it's going to take a lot of low level work out of it, and so that's why it's going to be a lot of people. So right now, while it's a small sliver in time, ChatGPT just came out this year. We're barely a couple months in, which is crazy about this. So as ChatGPT is just warming up to starting to take over industries, jobs, roles, and places in society, and other AI tools, you need to be hell-bent on education right now. I thought about this, and I'm like, the only thing that you could do, like priority wise, is education. You need to be investing all your time and money in skills or expertise that's going to help you, either your skill set so that you're the best that you could be in your industry, or it's going to be so you could be the most competitive as a business, because the economic game is going to be changing. It's so crazy. So now we're starting to see, so this is going to be a very interesting trend as I look at this one, the Wall Street Journal. So we started looking at businesses, and they're starting to add ChatGPT and AI tools, and it's really changing things. On a personal level, what happens if we start using these tools to start to digitize, to augment, to synthesize ourselves, to create a digital version of ourselves? I'm already kind of like there with Siri as far as using her as my personal assistant, and offloading my digital brain into like ClickUp and Notion. So I've already digitized my brain. Everything I've written down and digitized everything in my brain, my notes, interests, books, everything's logged. So I have everything in Notion. So I know what's there. And then operation wise, everything I need to do, touch, productivity wise, business and personal is in ClickUp. I've seen some AI people like take data from like Notion and then start piping that into ChatGPT and stuff. There's businesses that are literally piping in KPI data, sales data, sales, marketing, operations. They're piping all this data, and there's a company, I forgot the name, that they're using it to make executive choices, and the company was doing profitable for a couple of quarters. It was profitable month over month. So if we look in the personal side, how are we using these tools to make us more productive, to make us more um, sentient in a sense? So this is one way of she's using. It's very interesting. So voice right now is probably the biggest thing. You've probably come across like the Drake AI, where AI is taking over rappers, where rappers are now not like, I didn't write that, that's AI. That's how good it is and stuff like that. So that's not going to stop, which is crazy. There might be the rise of AI rappers and artists. So I mean, think of yeah, I just thought of like drawing artists and how they're impacted from Midjourney. So now think of rappers and now they're impacted with AI, and there's nothing they could do about it. That's the crazy thing. You have to compete and create like on a whole nother level now because the game's changed. So she used a tool which is interesting, voice cloning from 11 Labs, and that was interesting because the cost is also interesting to see the cost come down and still be semi-expensive and stuff. So she wanted to test and synthesize herself. She tried different things for different scenarios. For one, to get around her Chase Bank's biometric system, she used voice cloning from 11 Labs. Hackers, whatever, penetration or what do they call them? Red teams. I think they're called Red Hat teams or penetration teams from hackers. They're hired hackers, white hat hackers, to come in and show vulnerability in a business, penetration testing, so that the business can learn its vulnerability so that they can strengthen and become not susceptible to hackers or scammers or anything like that. So it's actually a very lucrative business. Cybersecurity, definitely. Oh my God, cybersecurity is going to be big in the next decade. Jesus. So she used that tool from 11 Labs. But this one was interesting. She used a custom voice and video clone by synthesis. This one I've seen a couple times. This one is really crazy. Let's go here for a second. Joanne, wait, synthesis. I just want synthesia. Yeah. Synthesia. Yes. I can't even pronounce it. Yeah, yeah. You've seen this face around on the internet at some weird place. At like, that's completely AI. Her face, her voice, and she will replace the voice and text. But here's the crazy thing. So, if you're a business, if you're a small business, if you're a small, medium, or large enterprise, in today's digital world, you have to have a digital media, or you have to have a media broadcasting department. Meaning, you have to have a media company or media someone in your business that's responsible for publishing content about your business. It's technically a marketing department, but it's not even like a marketing. It's like you need a full media production business or media production output to like stay competitive by like, it's not just like create a YouTube channel, create a podcast, and like that's how you're going to get organic growth to grow your company. No, like you, in order to compete now, like you are now have to be your own media company, like business, in order to promote your business in today's competitive and digital landscape, because it's all digital, it's all online now. But this is interesting. You've seen Mr. Beast and how he creates YouTube videos that are trending, very popular YouTube videos. Then he copy pastes them and subtitles them. He's very scandalous. He hires like professional actors, say in Mexico, to do voiceover dubs. That's like, you have like enterprise, like a few money, that's the way to do it. But for those of us who don't have that much money, basically what we're seeing here is the ability to transcribe your existing video context or your vlogs or your whatever content about your business, to transcribe that into 120 languages, because news alert, English is not going to be the most popular language in the next couple years or whatever. It's not like English is changing, more of like, but the rise of new economies and the rise of new markets is going to be the rise, like learning Chinese and Spanish. Like right now, I'm going to learn Spanish right now. But here's a way of, rather than having to learn a whole new language, you can transcribe your videos into different languages. Then you can, that allows you as a business, small business, if you're doing Facebook marketing and you have one video in English, boom, now you got Spanish, and now you could bring in a whole nother market in a different language that's not dependent on the barrier to you knowing the language. Yes, hire someone that speaks in that language, but that's why this to me is more fascinating, because as I watch the trend towards content production, businesses seeing the need for creating video in order for them to promote their business or service, that basically that they need to, this is going to be a very productivity game changing as far as like creating one piece of content, then for me practice, I'm gonna be practicing Spanish and then recording my videos in Spanish, but that's a whole nother thing. So for this, basically, you could do this with AI, which is crazy. We're gonna skip to the very end. I don't want to take up most of your time. I want to leave you with a book recommendation. So if you're into marketing, I highly recommend Joe Polish, What's in It for Them. This is a great book. You get the audiobook. I listen to all audiobooks all the time. I love it. And so Joe Polish, if you don't know who he is, he runs what's called the Genius Network, which is a $25,000 a year business mastermind group that meets in, I think, New Mexico. Don't quote me on that. But yes, you can see a lot of they host online webinar, or they do webinars for their mastermind group, and then you can watch a lot of them. Sometimes they have them here when they do their chats and stuff. So from there, I highly recommend the book, because if you do email marketing in your business, this is a great book to nurture the relationships, to focus on the client, to really dive into what is their struggle, what is their pain, how can you help them and serve them. That is the mission there. And this is a great book, so I highly recommend it. Last but not least, this show would not be made possible without our sponsors, and our sponsors is me, Global Builders Club. My business, Global Builders Club, where if you're a business owner and you need to get more leads, get more sales, or need help hiring or systematizing your business, highly recommend you reach out to us. What we do is we automate, systematize, train your business so that you can stay competitive in today's digital economy, which is wild. Things are changing. So my gift to you, for free, go to the link down below and you can get my ChatGPT cheat sheet for free. That gets you in our system, and my team can start reaching out to you, and we can start learning and starting the conversation going. But I'm Jonathan Acuna. Thank you so much to staying to episode 1. We did it. Episode 1, I'm going to cut it down shorter. We're going to do these every Friday. But yes, learn something new. That's our goal with the show, is we're going to look at trending topics every Friday, learn something new from them for business, personal, entrepreneurship, and especially if you're a business owner. I'm always going to apply these so that we could turn lessons and find techniques, strategies out them to level up in our business and our personal life. So with that, I want to thank you so much for staying and hanging out with me. And I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.